Welcome to Psych 240, Abnormal Psychology for Health Sciences. This class is 100% online and is asynchronous. The class week runs from Thursday to Thursday. There are assignments due every week in this course, so that there will be something due usually every Thursday night at 11:59 p.m. unless you're otherwise notified. You can get a textbook through the bookstore. I recommend, unless you're a psych major and you want to hang on to the textbook, that you get the rental text e-version for about $39. I always feel like it's a good idea for students to know who their professor is. But just very briefly, I did my undergraduate work at Purdue University. I got my master's in psychology at Regis University in Denver, Colorado, and then I got my doctorate at Virginia Tech. Now, I got my doctorate in 2005. I got my master's in 1998. So I had a career before then as an athletic trainer. I was the head athletic trainer at Boston College. Then I spent 25 years in the NFL, 5 years as the assistant trainer for the Buffalo Bills, and then 20 years as the head athletic trainer for the New York Jets. I came to Jefferson University in 2002 and have been teaching since then here. And now with the merger, teaching for Radford University, Carilion. I've written 2 books, Develop the Winner's Mentality and Thriving in Recovery. My research these days is focused mainly on recovery. I work at the Addiction Recovery Research Center down the street at the Fralin Biomedical Research Institute. My main work is centered on the Quit and Recovery Registry. My focus is on positive psychology, and my goal is to have everyone thrive in their life. So as you go through this course, even though it's about abnormalities, look how much better off you are than the people suffering from some of these disorders. Your textbook is Abnormal Psychology, the 15th edition by Kring and Johnson, published by Wiley. If you go to the RUC online bookstore, you should be able to get a 120-day rental of the ebook for less than $40. Since you have managed to access this voiceover PowerPoint video, it's obviously you're learning how to navigate D2L. Once you access the content page, you should proceed to the module on the left-hand side of the page. Each succeeding module will tell you what is required for that module, the readings, the videos to view, the assignment titles, and their due dates. Access to YouTube videos will appear in the window on the right for the module. The access to the voiceover PowerPoint videos or the voiceover videos and their handouts will be found below in the materials. Make sure you always scroll down far enough to see the materials. Then the other buttons you need to know about in the module area. The assignments will be posted, but it won't give you the instructions and so forth. For that, you need to go up to the assignments tab, click on that, and you can then access the appropriate assignment. The other areas that you'll be needing up there are for the quizzes and for your grades. One more area might be discussions, but I'm not a big fan of discussion questions. Assignment and dates could change. You'll be notified with plenty of advance if they do. Make sure you read the syllabus, print it out, keep it handy, especially early on, so that you understand what's going on and how I've got the course set up. My contact information is on there, course description, learning objectives, and so on. The grading scale that I use, the late work policy, and that policy is really simple. I don't accept late work. There's an explanation of workload expectations. Every written assignment is a writing assignment, so no texting language, no abbreviations, and so forth. There's also a provisional topical outline. The course is set up in modules. You'll have what you're expected to do each week and the due dates. You may work ahead in the module. The second module or the next module will not appear until the day before it's scheduled to open. Bottom line is, if something's not where it's supposed to be or you can't see it, email me, let me know as soon as possible. Okay? And that also goes if the dates don't match up from what I list on the in the module to what shows up in the assignments. So just let me know. If in the voiceover PowerPoints you hear me say something about Blackboard, just know I mean D2L. Okay? I've been using Blackboard for 18 years, so old habits are hard to break. And sometimes I'm not aware of them. If I say something about the weekly folder, okay, I'm talking about the module and where, the list of what you're supposed to be doing. And just as a reminder, I'm 3 hours behind you, okay, in a time frame. I live out west. I live outside of Las Vegas. So if you send me an email at 9 in the morning, your time, don't expect one before noon or 1 o'clock. Don't expect a reply before noon or 1 o'clock. Now, what the course objectives don't tell you, and the syllabus doesn't tell you, is that I'm going to encourage you to know more about yourself, about who you am. If you've ever had me for an instructor before, you already know what that means. But with this course, now I understand that the majority of you are not going to have abnormal psychological challenges or disorders and so forth. But delving into these abnormal things will cause you to have to think about yourself and how do you handle situations. And I want you to really pay attention to that, because the more you learn about yourself, the better off you'll be in life. And this will absolutely help you improve your critical thinking skills, which are imperative with any kind of psychology. And that's why graduate schools and professions love to have psych grads or psych minors. I want you to be a learner versus a student. I need you to be proactive and go after things and not just an empty receptacle that's going to spit back stuff that I feed you, because I'm not going to feed you that much. So be like Hermione. Be a proactive learner. My responsibilities are I'll respond to your emails within 24 to 48 hours, usually 24, but sometimes on the weekend it's 48. And I'll usually have grading done within a week, unless there's a big assignment with a lot of people. If it's going to be longer than that, I'll notify you. The assignments, as I mentioned, there'll be assignments due every week in the course. You'll find them on the course content page of your board site. There's generally 4 or 5 designations. The designations are almost more for me than for you, but in case you're curious, the A, if it's standalone, just stands for assignment. AR is an assignment with a reflection. AA is an article analysis. VA is a video analysis. Sometimes there's an AVA, which means there's an article and video analysis too. The articles, voice over PowerPoints, and the videos will have links provided so you can access them. So one of the more common assignments that I give is called an analysis assignment. Could be a video analysis, could be an article analysis, could be a combination of the two. So in this case, you have a video and an article or a text chapter that go into this assignment. So there's three things involved. You have the chapter 3, you have the voiceover PowerPoint video, number 3, on cognitive applied science, and then you have a YouTube video on the neurochemistry of emotions. So you have to look at each of those, and for each one of those, you write a 25-word maximum summary of what they said. So a 25-word summary maximum of the chapter in the text, the cognitive psych video, and the neurochemistry video. The idea of making you get it done within 25 words, while it sounds simpler, it's actually tougher to do. So you have to really think about what you've learned and how you can express that in 25 words or less. Now, the second part of the assignment is to summarize your new learning. Okay, now this can certainly be more than 25 words, and I certainly expect it to be. But you don't have to do new learning for each of those three. Okay, it can be all in one thing. Now, if you want to separate them into paragraphs, that's allowed. Just don't make them further down. In order to grade the assignments, I need to be able to see them in order, these things. Then part 3 is how you can apply this in your life. You know, what does it mean for you? So you tell me that. Again, that could be anything from several sentences to a lengthy paragraph. And then 4 is what else do you need to know about it? Now, early on, you might say something like, well, I need to know more about neurochemistry and things like that. And I will respond to you and tell you either it's coming up or it's not part of this course. You need to find it somewhere else. But this is the most common assignment that I give, and it is, to me, the one that can help you learn the best. So reflection is a form of metacognition, metacognition is a great psychology word, meaning thinking about thinking. Remember, a reflection is not a summary, so if I ask you to do a reflection about this voiceover PowerPoint, you don't tell me what I said. What I'm looking for is what you've learned new. Have you experienced it before? How did it make you feel? Okay, so that's the what. Then you say, so what? What intrigued you? Why? Is there a life lesson here? How does it apply to you? How can you adapt? If you get stuck ever, just ask why. If you say something is interesting, you have to tell me why. You can't just say, that was interesting. All written assignments are writing assignments, and all the writing must be substantive. If you need help, get help from the Writing Center. Do not assume that you know how to write at a college level if you haven't done any writing yet so far. So, what is substantive? It usually requires a reflection, looking back and thinking about things. It needs to be thoughtful, cogent, and relevant. And what that means is you think about it, you make sure that what you're writing makes sense, that's cogent, and that it applies to the situation we're talking about. If I send you if I give you feedback that says this needs to be more substantive, think in terms of those three things: thoughtful, cogent, relevant. The quizzes and exams are given in a mastery or spaced repetition format. In other words, you can take them as often as you want. They're open book. You just cannot check with another human being. You can take as many attempts as you want, but you have to have a minimum of 70% correct, or you'll receive a 0. There's always at least a couple of weeks to do the test. In this course, there's probably about 6 quizzes. There'll be anywhere from 80 to 100 questions per quiz. Again, in this course, there is no midterm exam. The final will be a comprehensive exam, and we'll also have some short essays. The comprehensive exam will also be a mastery testing type exam. Make sure you set goals for this course. Why are you taking it? I know some of you are taking it because it's in your plan of study and they tell you you have to take it. But you should be thinking about what you want to get out of it. What do you want to learn? What grade do you want? In my courses, if you want an A, you have to work hard for it. If you do the work and you do it satisfactorily, you can get a C. If you want an A, you've got to go above and beyond. If you don't do the work, you'll fail. So set goals for this course, set goals for your other courses. So we have a president who is constantly being called psychological terms regarding disorders. Is he just arrogant, which most people seem to think that's at least part of it, or is he a narcissist? Is he a sociopath? Is he a psychopath? Is he a pathological liar? Bipolar? Does he have ADD? All of these questions are asked about this guy because of his behavior. Some of the symptoms, he's been described as being delusional. Certainly he's misogynistic. He doesn't like women. Is he delirious? He's been described often as being unstable and unhinged, and then just using the lay terms that most of us use. Some people say he's a lunatic, he's an egomaniac, he's deranged, he's certifiable, or just he's batshit crazy. And so these are terms that we will look at, not necessarily the lay terms at the end, but the symptoms that go along with the disorders. And I'm sure in discussing these, our president will come up quite often in our descriptions. I will try not to get political about it and just look at his behavior. Okay. For this course, you're going to have to become a little bit politically informed, okay? Because there's so much going on with the former president, with the Republican Party, with the Democrats trying to get voting rights changed, that it all at times is so abnormal that it will filter into whatever it is we're studying, especially when we get down to anxieties and post-traumatic stress and so forth. So it's important that you pay attention. Where you get your news, you may want to add some spot. If you get it totally from Facebook or Twitter or one of the news channels, you may want to take a peek at another one. Good places to get your news are like the main network nightly news, on ABC, NBC, and then PBS. They give you the facts, and they'll have discussions too, but it's much less slanted one way or another. I think you're going to see more people are going to have stress-related problems, and we'll keep an eye on that as it goes along as much as we can. Remember that hate leads to fear. Fear leads to anxiety and stress. Stress can lead to depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, other anxiety disorders. So all of these things fit into what's going on in the world today. So next we'll be looking at giving an introduction to the course itself, the textbook and the content, and go over a little historical overview of abnormal psych and look at the current paradigms or schools of thought in psychopathology. So you'll need to have your text and look into that. There will be a quiz on it, and I want you to enjoy the course, and if you have any problems at all, don't hesitate to contact me.